Hello and welcome to another Goodall Valley Railway video. A lot has changed in the last few days since the last video, as you can probably tell. We have a few buildings now, which is really good. And as you can see, knowing me, the layout has changed again. I'm forever changing the layout, but I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again. This time I think I have got it where I want it to be. So you've got the main line that comes in round the bend and into this side here. You've got your run round loop there, and obviously you've got your head shunts. You've got a couple of sidings there and a couple more sidings the other way. I'm not going to pan to that way just yet, because you'll see why in a minute. We have a lot of new additions and it's quite a lot to put into the video, especially when you're doing it on a handheld mobile phone and you haven't got proper camera equipment and all that necessary stuff. But yeah, we've got a ton more at the railway now. So much stuff has arrived in the past few days, one of which I have got. I'll start with a couple of eBay things that I bought first of all. So the first one is this little 12-ton plank wagon, Great Western, which has got what is made to look like aggregate inside it. That was on eBay. I bought that one quite cheap. I think that was only about £2 or £3, that one. Lovely runner. Over there I got the second cattle wagon, which is the one at the back. I bought that one on eBay for 99p, but made up for it in the postage, of course. But you know, you're paying for postage, but that's still under £4 for the whole wagon. I think it was about £2 odd postage packaging, but 99p for the wagon itself. There is another one somewhere. I can't find it. I can't see it. I'll probably put it in the drawer somewhere. But it's only again, it's another plank wagon. It's a black anthracite coal wagon. I already had one, as you may have seen it in other videos. You may not have. I can't remember myself. But I thought, well, I've got one, I might as well buy another one. So when that arrived, I took a quick look at them and thought, you know what, I'm going to make a rake of these. Going to get a few more of them to make up a little rake. But in recent days, over the last few days, I think about 3 or 4 days ago now, could even be a bit longer than that, a good friend of mine, he said to me that he had a load of stuff that he didn't want anymore because his layout's not the same as mine. It's a much different layout. It's more your modernised diesels, like your 73s, your 66s, that kind of thing. So obviously the stuff he had that he gave to me wasn't much use to him. He does run Mark 1s, but only in SR green. Goodall Valley Railway is, of course, Great Western based. It's not purely Great Western because there's more of everything else than there is Great Western at the moment, which is just typical of me. But more Great Western Locos will arrive soon. How soon, I just don't know, but soon. So what I've done here, I've created a double platform either side and platform piece going along the back there to create like a terminus station. One of that building there was given to me recently by another friend who found a few odd buildings in his loft which he didn't want, so he passed them on down to me. So we got that one there. We got a signal box and a water tower. There's a couple of other of the station buildings exactly the same as that one over the other side. Oh, of course, there is this little hut here as well. There is another signal box and a few other little bits and pieces dotted around. But going back to rolling stock, recent additions, quite a lot of wagons. I counted, I think it was about 8 or 9 wagons in total he gave me. And that was just wagons. In fact, 2 of which are actually sat just here. And that's this wagon here, which is a really, really good wagon. It's actually got on it a mechanism on the side, which if you lift that up, that drawer there will actually open up. So that little coal wagon there I thought was really, really good. I quite like that one myself. And that one there is one of the wagons that was down, that came down. As you can probably see, there is now a Mark 1 RMB coach in Great Western colours sat behind it. That was also one of the things that I got from him. He gave me 5 Mark 1 coaches. There was a CK, RMB and a BCK in chocolate and cream. And 2 more CKs, one in blood and custard and one in blue and grey, which are over in the drawer at the moment. There's also this lovely SR brake van, which is quite a nice brake van. I use that one quite a lot actually. The layout's not big enough to run Mark 1s, really. I can get away with the run round loop at this end and at the other end. I can get away with 1 Mark 1 with a brake van on the back. So what happens is it comes in, the engine runs round, takes the brake van off, puts it into the other side, either the run round loop or the other platform if it's at this end, goes back, picks up the coach, and then backs the coach back onto the brake van, ready to depart and go back the other way. That's how I'm doing it at the moment. Of course, I've also got the 121 bubble car, which I can also use to trolley backwards and forwards. I've only put stations down. I'm not focusing purely on passenger trains, but passenger trains I wanted sort of in the mix. I wanted a mixture of both, but I'm more so with freight, shunting with freight, that kind of thing, but I'd like to have passenger trains running as well. So I'm going to pan over now to the other side, which will show you the depths of the shunting layout I've got at Esther Junction here. And 2 new additions, locomotive wise. Yes, 2 of them, which he also gave me, which are very, very good. One of them still needs a service, but at the moment it's running quite well, so I'm not majorly fussed with it at the moment, but it will want doing at some point. I just ain't got the knowledge to do this particular loco. You'll see why very soon. So what happens is here, the train comes in. I think I said this already, but I'll say it again. You've got the run round loop. Okay, you've got the head shunt there. You've got a bay platform there, which I've just put wagons in. So what happens when a freight train comes in, I can mess around with the wagons, take ones off, put ones on, and shunt here, there, and all over the place. The other thing that my friend gave me as well is a dual controller, which I've been needing for quite a while. This will actually allow me to run 2 separate circuits. For those of you who don't know, if you're running on DC like I am, think of DC like a river flow. The power's flowing away from the power. So, for example, this one here, which is track 2, this is where the power is going to, and then it flows like a river. So everything this way it will control. So it will control these sidings here, it will control that one there, and it will control up there onto the other side as well. And then it will also control the sidings over there as well. So I'm going to show you the locos now. I'm hoping they will get in shot. Well, one of them will, because it's only a small one, but it's the bigger one I'm hoping will go in, but we'll try. We'll bring the big one out first. That's the wrong one. Trust me to get that wrong. So here comes the first one now. It's an LMS class 4P tank, I believe. It's quite an old one. I was looking at this Loco on other YouTube channels, and I'm trying to work out exactly how old it is. It's a Hornby model. There's some detailing on it which I found will sort of give you a hint to how old it is. Like this little gold plate there just above the piston rods. If you can see it, it's just there. That's the plate that tells you where and when it was built. On the newer models you can actually see it if you look closely enough. On the older ones it's just that gold circle. It's silly little things like that as well which sort of help you tell how old it is. I believe the newer ones also have spring-loaded buffers as well. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'm pretty sure that it did. But obviously the older ones certainly don't, because those ones are certainly not spring-loaded. So we're going to run that one backwards now and bring out the other tank engine. There it comes quite quickly. So this is again an old Hornby 3F Ginty, which is also LMS, but it's in the BR, and I believe that's the Lake Crest logo there. This one practically didn't run at all when I got it back. I've managed to get this one apart, cleaned it, oiled it up with some oil lubrication for Locos, All for Oil, I think it's called, Oil for All, sorry. That just basically lubricates all the mechanical parts and helps it run a bit smoother, and it does run a bit better now. It's not picture perfect, but then it's not quite new either. It's quite old, so it's not going to be perfect. But it does run fairly well once it gets going. So they're the two new additions to the Loco fleet. I will try and get more Great Western eventually. But when that will be, I don't know. I have actually got one. I was actually speaking to my father just the other day on the phone, and he mentioned that I have got a Great Western at his, which is, I believe it was a Hall or a Castle class. And I was on the phone, I was thinking, I don't even remember buying that. I don't even remember getting it. But apparently I have got one. It's sat over there, so he's going to get it round to me at some point. So that'll be it'll actually be the first tender Loco addition to the fleet as well. Because they're all tank engines or diesels at the moment. But then again, the Goodall Valley Railway is quite small at the moment. It's not really suitable for a big engine at the moment. But having said that, at his I've also got a Class 9F. 9Fs, they may not be Great Western, but they are one of my most favourite steam engines of all time. I just love the 9Fs. Love them. I have got one, and it's quite annoying because both me and Dad, we used to volunteer on a heritage railway, the Watercress line, and of course the 9F up there is 92212, which has it actually expired its boiler certificate this year, or late, or was it the end of last year now? It was either December last year or January, February time. It ran out of its boiler certificate. From what I've heard, it's now at Crewe. What I've heard, how true it is, I don't know, so don't count on me on it. don't count on it. But I do believe that 92212 is at Crewe at the moment, awaiting its overhaul. Once that's finished, it will return to the Mid-Ants Railway, because I think it's still under contract. Could be wrong. But anyway, the 9F that we've got, which is a Hornby AA model, is 92221, which is kind of annoying because obviously the Watercress line is 92212, 92221. I was going to get a friend of mine to take the last two digits of the number off and swap them round to make it 92212, because he was so talented with all the model railway stuff. A lot of the stuff that he was running, he didn't even buy. He made it, and it looked shop built or shop standard. You wouldn't think anyone had hand built it. But before I got a chance to ask him, he sadly passed away about a year or so ago, which is a crying shame because he was a lovely bloke, but he's no longer with us, so we weren't able to get that to him because he can't do it from beyond the grave. But this is the controller. It's quite a lengthy video today, actually. I do apologise. But this is the controller that my friend also gave me. It's a Gauge Master. It's a brilliant little controller. I've had to put new wires for track 1 and track 2. Track 2, which is this one, which operates all the sidings over there and round to here. And of course track 1, which is there, runs the main line coming down. I do apologise for the mess that you might have just caught on camera, but it broke on me yesterday. The top drawer of the unit broke. So that needs fixing or dumping or one or the other. We were in talks the other day, me and my father, and talks are in place to get the extension. So it's not impossible that in the next few weeks or months or so, we could see the extension put in. What we've decided was to stick to the original plan because of how small this room is and the fact it is a living room. It's not a separate spare room. This is the actual living room we're in. And my furniture, the sofa, the armchair, they're quite thick. They're quite fat things. We weren't going to get a run round loop in any sense because it would make things too tight, too small really to have people round to sit in, have a drink with and watch telly and all that sort of stuff, without changing all the furniture around or even getting rid of it altogether and getting a different one. But what's going to happen is where the railway ends at the moment at Alice Halt, we're going to get the board to go between the end of that baseboard into the wall and go 7 foot back down the other way. So it's not going to be quite as long as this side. It's going to be about a foot or so shorter. That's just so that we don't have to do too much furniture moving around and try to make it a comfortable living room at the same time. But I'll keep updated on that one as and when things progress with that. We need to get another table. We need to get another bit of the wood here. If anyone is actually wondering what this is actually plywood. It's an 8 foot by 4 foot sheet which you get out of places like Homebase, B&Q. It's 12mm thick, and all this is really is just cut down the middle, giving you 2 sheets of 8 foot by 2 foot, and then one of them 2 sheets was cut in half, which is what's formed over there. Can't remember exactly why that was cut in half, but it was. I think the layout plan, my very original layout plan, was completely different to what I had or what I've got now. But that's it for today. I do apologise again, it's been quite a lengthy one. I'm just looking at the timer now, it's just gone over 20 minutes. So, yeah, like I say, I'll keep you updated on all the updates. I'll try and get that running video that I mentioned up soon. Still need to take some more clips for that. Because as you know, if you've seen my other one, which is in the video section, you'll see that I put a song over it just to make it that bit more entertaining, because I know this layout's not entertaining because it hasn't really got much scenery. It's not ballasted, it's not stuck down, it's very basic. It's more like a toy train set at the moment, but it's not. But it doesn't look like a proper model railway just yet, but it is slowly getting there, and I do mean slowly. But yeah, that's all for this video. I'll keep you updated if anything else happens. But I do believe, like I say, the next phase is to get the extension in, which is a new table, new bits of board. And then see where we go from there. Once we've got the track down on the new bit of board, and we've got everything exactly how we want it layout wise, the whole track plan's finished, then it'll be corked and then stuck down properly with the pins. Sorry, not the pins, the little screws, which have actually arrived this morning. And then we'll get the track screwed down with the cork under it, and then go from there and see what happens. Maybe we can then start ballasting it and start to make it look like a real model railway. I've also got another project in the pipeline. This layout is too big to take to any exhibitions if they ever kick off again. After all of this, what's going on in the world sort of blows over. But I don't think it's going to blow over yet for a long time. I don't think this country's going to get back to anything like normal this year, in my personal opinion. But that's just my personal opinion. That's a different story. But there is another project in the pipeline, which is a small shunting layout, which once we've got that ball rolling and there's track for it, I've already got a controller spare ready to go. It just needs a plug. I will be prioritising the layout for the show, which is the little shunting layout. Once that ball's rolling, the Goodall Valley Railway's progress will come to a halt temporarily. Or it might not come to a halt, but the focus will be more put towards the layout for the exhibitions, because I cannot wait to get a layout to an exhibition and just, you know, greet everybody at the shows. And who knows, you may very well see us there. But anyway, as I said about 5 minutes ago, that's all for this video. Keep safe, keep well, and we'll see you in the next video.